When I started writing every day, my idea of a good writing tool was Microsoft Word. And Microsoft Word is indeed an important app as soon as you get to the querying stage, as most agents will ask you to submit your manuscript in a Word document. But before that, while you're drafting, there are a lot of incredible tools out there that will help you get the words on paper and become your best allies in organizing your writing properly. And before I get started, I also want to tell you that it's important to note that some of the things that I'm doing here, particularly in step 2, have to do with the fact that I'm trying to be traditionally published and not self-publishing. So I write taking into account a specific word count. Okay, so when I start plotting, outlining, or just generating ideas for a novel, the first thing I do is grab my novel notebook. This is where the dump of ideas, pitches, concepts, settings, topics, etc. goes to. I use a very free-form approach to this part of the process, as I imagine characters, or a full-fledged magic system, or just try to find connections between all of these different moving parts. And once again, this stage is very world-building related. I'm not too worried about drafting something that makes sense plot-wise, but rather building a background that's interesting and exciting, and where everything else can be inserted into. So after I roughly figure out the genre I want to write in and the age category, I also know immediately what is the maximum word count I want to get to. And that's when I go to the CatBeat Sheets generator, which is a free framework that creates a customizable template for your novel. So here's how it streamlines plotting. The generator starts you off with key plot points like the opening image, theme stated, break into two, all is lost, etc. So it ensures your story follows a clear and emotionally impactful arc. So once you get to the generator, you say you want to write a novel, then you pick your maximum word count or page number. Taking that information into account, the generator will then create your beat map that you can then print out for a physical reference or just keep it as a digital document to guide your writing process. So after I have my beats outlined by word count or page number, that's when I go to my master Excel spreadsheet. This is where I keep my main story outline, and that takes into account all the scene breakdowns from the previous step. I'm naturally a pantser, which means I have a terrible tendency to just write as I go, and then I feel a bit lost in the process. So right now this spreadsheet is my savior. Overall, this outline will be your guide throughout the entire drafting process. If things look good and balanced at this stage, it's a good sign you can move on to the following step. The spreadsheet you're seeing here is actually a template you can download for free from Jericho Writers, so I'll link it down below. Basically, as you write your target word count, the spreadsheet will automatically calculate for you when you should switch between beats. So take this as a plot point tracker. You can then, of course, take this even further, using separate columns for chapter number, plot point description, character involvement, potential consequences of the scene. And conditional formatting will allow you to highlight scenes that need further development or identify pacing issues. As an alternative, you can also use Plottr, which was basically created for this specifically. So Plottr is an app that allows you to visually map out your novel. It has a drag and drop interface, very user-friendly. You can basically drag and drop your digital note cards that represent scenes onto a virtual storyboard. And this is very simple and allows you to easily rearrange and visualize the flow of your plot. Each note card can then hold detailed information about the scene, including synopsis, character involvement, setting descriptions, plot points, etc. I really like to use Plottr along with my Excel spreadsheet, because I feel like this detailed breakdown really helps me maintain structure and ensure that all plot threads are progressing organically. This also allows you to link scenes together with arrows to show cause and effect relationship or highlight the journey of your characters across your story. Okay, now so if you have a specific goal in mind concerning deadlines, so either to finish the draft, doing edits, or start querying, you may want to keep yourself accountable for your word count. Personally, I have a recurring daily task to write for at least 1 hour per day, divided into at least 2 chunks, one in the morning and one in the evening, irrespective of word count. This is blocked in my calendar so I can actually sit down in front of my computer and force myself to write. And more often than not, the words actually come out. Okay, so finally, this is all very fine and dandy, but where do you actually do your writing? So I'm a big fan of Scrivener, and Scrivener goes beyond a simple word processor. It offers a very comprehensive organizational hub for your novel. So Scrivener operates under this kind of binder philosophy. So imagine your novel as a binder. Scrivener basically lets you break it down into chapters, scenes, research notes, or even character profiles. Each one of those notes acts as a separate document within the binder, and when you compile your project, Scrivener knows exactly what to compile and what not to compile. If you're stuck on plot flow, Scrivener also allows you to do something very similar to Plottr. So it has a corkboard feature that allows you to drag and drop these kind of documents that are represented as digital index cards to visualize your story's structure. You can then simply drag and drop everything around on the corkboard to see if you find a better combination for your plot threads. Scrivener also has really powerful outlining features, so you can create a hierarchical outline with subheadings for subplots or character arcs, and you can then collapse and expand sections for a bird's eye view or laser focus on specific parts. In case your manuscript relies heavily on research or having to reference world building, Scrivener also has a split screen mode that allows you to view and edit two sections simultaneously. This is really good to compare draft versions and, as I was saying, to reference research notes while you're writing a scene. I actually have a couple of videos on Scrivener, so I'll link those down below in case you're interested in getting started with this awesome app. So after I finish my draft on Scrivener, I usually compile it. Compiling in Scrivener means that it basically gathers all of your chapters and then it will export your document into whatever format you want, but it will be in a very nicely formatted document. So usually I like to export it to manuscript format in Word document, and then I'll do the rest of my editing passes in Microsoft Word. And I do that because I really like to have a full document in my hands. I can see exactly how long it is, how many pages I have, and the fact that it exports my document with double spacing and already formatted to query, and the document is already formatted so I can query it as it is really helpful so I can work on edits as I'm also sending out query letters. I've been wanting to level up my productivity, and Skillshare has been the perfect platform for that. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, offering thousands of classes led by industry experts across various fields like photography, graphic design, music, cooking, business, marketing, and much more. Whether you want to boost your career, improve your skills, or explore new hobbies, Skillshare has got you covered. One of the most impressive features of Skillshare is their learning paths. These are curated sequential class collections designed to help you master a specific skill. For example, I've been diving into their Write Powerful Short Fiction learning path, which gives you the techniques and exercises to write short stories and poems throughout 3 different classes and projects. The classes adopt a learn by doing approach, allowing you to create and share projects with the community, getting valuable feedback along the way. Plus, the on-demand platform lets you learn at your own pace, no matter your skill level. With summer here, it's the perfect time to explore new passions and hobbies, and I'm planning to make the most of my summer by delving deep into writing techniques and exploring creative projects on Skillshare. Now for the exciting part, the first 500 people to use my link in the description box will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. You can get started today to unlock your creative potential. Once again, the link and offer are at the top of the video description box, so remember to check them out and take advantage of this fantastic opportunity to join the Skillshare community.